The first global high net worth conference took place at the Café de Paris in Monte Carlo in March 2015. Organised by MonacoLife.net in partnership with Savills Real Estate, the event is a unique and compelling forum on the latest developments for those providing services and goods to the ultra-wealthy at a time of unprecedented global upheaval.
I liken it a little bit to maybe this is the French Revolution, but with computers.
The digital revolution is transforming every aspect of economic and social life and facilitates increasing scrutiny and new threats to security that amount to a virtual cyber war.
I've been to 5 custodian banks in the last 2 weeks. We spoke all the time about hacking, cybersecurity. We had the statistics from the banks of which countries are trying to break their systems. And you see China, a Swiss private bank, 16,000 times. Somebody from China is trying to get a malicious email into a Swiss bank. I mean, this is a cyber war.
Whilst the repercussions of the economic meltdown in 2008 continues to impact the global economy, the so-called 1% have substantially increased their wealth against a background of austerity in the Western world. However, governments are clawing back against tax avoidance and evasion by rolling out measures ensuring greater transparency from previously opaque tax havens.
They're all adapting because we're being forced to, because we're part of a globalized world where organizations such as the OECD, for example, have a very wide writ. And therefore, in order to conform and be accepted within the international community, you need to comply and you need to conform.
The banking crisis has established a trend for the wealthy to manage their own wealth within specialized family offices. Monaco has anticipated the new measures promoting banking transparency, and according to Monaco diplomat Henri Fisson, the principality remains an attractive proposition as a base for family offices.
Monaco is today one of the best places in the world in which to base a family office. The number of requests for creation of that type of activities has increased greatly during the last 10 years, and some family offices which have settled in Monaco are very big indeed.
Maybe because of the increasing disparity in the wealth gap, hedge fund manager and financial guru Lee Robinson says that the wealthiest should be worried and take immediate precautions against what he sees as an imminent plunder and possible persecution.
But I am paranoid enough to tell you that the probabilities of capital controls, which were 1% 10 years ago, are now 20%. The probabilities of a global passport, which were 0.1% 10 years ago, are now 10 to 20%. And people in this room need to speak to gentlemen like these two, and this gentleman, not me, and organize their affairs. And if they're wrong, it's cost them a little bit of money. It costs them a bit of admin. But to open a bank account now can take 4 weeks. To open an account abroad can take 8 weeks. How bad is that going to be in a year's time, 2 years' time? You need to do it now. It's getting worse day by day.
It puts a lot of these clients in a position where they're caught between a rock and a hard place. Who do they fear more? Do they fear the tax authorities and penalties that they might impose, or do they fear, potential kidnappers who, pay some money to the local tax authorities to obtain financial information about yourself and your family?
With traditional tax havens under pressure to become more transparent, the wealthy are looking at new alternatives and driving up real estate values. However, Yolanda Barnes of Savills Real Estate says that some popular markets are trying to cool the upwards pressure that high net worth individuals bring with them, while others are bending over backwards to attract them, including the offer of citizenship with advantages.
There are some cities that are actually trying to discourage the wealth from coming in because there's a limited supply that the jurisdictions want for their locals, if you like. But there are others, Portugal and a lot of Caribbean countries would be among them, who are offering visas in return for investment. So you can effectively buy citizenship, in the case of Portugal, for certain investment in real estate. So there's a real mixture here between those desperately trying to cool their markets and those trying to encourage more overseas and ultra high net worth buying.
In terms of attracting high net worth individuals seeking tax advantages, the Bahamas is a traditional refuge. James Dean of Albany, Bahamas, founded by self-made billionaire Joe Lewis, says that this Caribbean haven is offering no-strings-attached citizenship for approved property investors on the island.
Since 1928, the Bahamas has been the most flexible, low-tax regime in the world. And when I say flexible, I say no direct taxation of any kind, and most importantly, no minimum stay requirement. So unlike somewhere like Dubai, which you have to go in and out of 2 times a year, or Monaco, where you have to spend 188 days a year, Nassau, you don't have to go in or out once in any 1 year. So property ownership, which then gives you tax residency, is a very attractive option for very high net worth people.
A new project on St. Kitts and Nevis in the Caribbean is one of a string of new developments seeking to attract ethical investors, with the emphasis on environmental and economic sustainability. Val Kemperdue, the founder of Kittition Hill, is keen to see that his development benefits the local economy.
In developing Kittition Hill, we wanted to maximise the economic benefits to the immediate community and St. Kitts. We mandated that Kittition Hill should be built by Kittitians. Our designs and construction methodology allowed local contractors to construct all the buildings at Kittition Hill. This means that the millions of dollars spent on constructing Kittition Hill are flowing into the local economy and having a direct impact on the economy of St. Kitts.
Ethical developments such as Kittition Hill are well adapted to the new wave of millennial entrepreneurs. And Yolanda Barnes of Savills Real Estate says that there is a clear difference between the tastes and desires of the baby boom generation and the new digital generation Y, and also the new wealthy from the Asian market.
And one of the biggest sort of longer term trends that we foresee is the rise of a new type of leisure property, if you like, or retreat, the places that people go to play. In America, it's been the Caribbean. In Europe, it's been the Mediterranean. We're looking now at the South China Sea, wondering how the Asians are going to spend their leisure time, how they're going to spend their money there, and really anticipating the rise of new types of resort.
Whereas property and residency are essentials, when it comes to enjoying the benefits of wealth, buying a yacht is a luxury which does not always fit in with the goals of maintaining and increasing one's wealth, but is often a must-have accessory.
You shouldn't buy a yacht as an investment. It is a lifestyle, it is a toy that you can enjoy tremendously. However, you can charter the boat out. They can offset your expenses, so it's not going to be so painful in overall cost.
China's new wealthy, however, are proving largely impervious to the lifestyle benefits of yacht ownership. According to Roberto Giorgi, executive chairman of Fraser Yachts, their reticence towards buying a super yacht is also down to the scrutiny that the Chinese state is now exercising over the country's new billionaires.
There is a sort of situation of pressure on people that became rich very sudden and very fast. So I think these people at this moment they will think twice before they spend a lot of money on buying a yacht.
When it comes to fine art and collectibles, the Chinese are not such reticent buyers.
We noticed that Chinese mainland buyers actually spent $1 billion of those dollars with us. The rest were people coming from all over the world. We saw a 20% increase, mainly in these bidders, and a 20% increase, interestingly enough, actually in the lots that we sold. And there was again a 20% increase in lots sold over $10 million, which is huge.
Whilst globalization stimulates new opportunities for wealth generation, the digital economy also represents a new risk for the wealthy, not just in terms of scrutiny from the tax authorities, but also by the media.
Before, you could have a story written about you and within a matter of days, people have forgotten about it. Whereas today, stories published, it may be broadcast, but then it's on the web and it's there forever. So you have to manage the fact that it is going to be there permanently, but you have to operate on a global basis. The story can be around the globe in a matter of minutes.
Now there are so many blogs, so many websites, you've got the use of social media, you've got different rules in different jurisdictions. It makes it more important than ever to have a proper plan in place for that rainy day.
Such is the rapidity of change that keeping up with the benefits and risks in this uncertain world is not a luxury. Richard Moyer believes that a fresh approach and new ideas are essential.
And I would like to see this conference as a way of drawing a red line, perhaps, and setting a new agenda for how business is conducted between financial institutions and we as the representatives of those who have family offices and assets to be taken care of. Thank you.